You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, everybody. We hear a lot as business owners about scaling. And I'm really starting to wonder, does anybody really understand what that is and why they might or might not want it? We're going to tackle that on Amplify Your Marketing Message today because it is so topical. Right about now, we are taking stock of the year that was and the year that's before us. And one of the most critical conversations that I have been having with multiple clients of ours is, what do I really want when it comes to growth? Without saying it, I know that growth is a given goal. Growth doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. When I am mentoring clients as a business mentor, the thing that I aspire and dream and hold space for is that I want you to have a beautifully boring, stable business with consistent cash flow. And we achieve that by creating a client growth engine. Because every business needs new clients, but not all new clients equal total growth. Growth in total numbers of clients, growth in total revenue, because sometimes the reason we're questing growth is because we are replacing clients that graduate from our services and we end up with a flat plateau in our business. And maybe that is what we want. Not everybody's empire is the same. And that's why I tell people it is not my job as your host here on this platform, as your mentor, as a client to Clear Acceleration Inc., or as someone who is just a voice of reason in your peer community to tell you who are you to set your dream at X value. It's not my place to judge. It is my place to help you understand that growth is part of the game. But what level of growth gets to be your personal choice. And not everybody wants a complicated business. Not everybody wants hundreds of staff. Not everybody wants hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Psst, guess what? You get to choose your business path. You get to choose the size, the scope, and there is not, just so we're clear, one way to build a business. There are foundations that every business needs. And you get to decide what you want. And I hope that you come work with us to help you achieve that more quickly, more profitably, more frequently, so that you end up with that goal line that I hold for you, which is a beautifully boring, stable business that serves predictably, that holds a high standard, that you don't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning panicking, thinking, I don't know where my next client is coming from. And if somebody tendered the contract termination papers to you today, that you already know that's fine. We know how to replace that income and we have people that are ready to work with us. So I want to talk about scaling, and I want to show you, as a seasoned business owner who's worked with more than 400 people to create $1 billion, that there are different levels when it comes to the word scaling. And you get to decide what you want. And you get to decide what are you prepared to do. You get to decide if you are willing. And that's a key piece of this puzzle, because wanting it is a great place to start. You cannot rely solely on want to build a business empire that meets your dreams. You must be willing to do what is required first in order to get what you want, because want is a result of actions. And I think, truthfully, the reason why so many businesses fail and why so many businesses are struggling and why so many businesses right now are looking at the year that was and having a really tough conversation. Can I continue on this path? Do I want to? And if I do want to, the thing I want you to hear loudly is, are you willing to do what's required? Because only effort focused on the right things, those 5 business foundations every business on the planet needs, has to be a commitment you make, because it is your commitment, your dream, your desire, your want, and your actions that will create the outcome. Stop passing the buck and get crystal clear so that you can make an informed decision. So I think in the world of business that there are 3 levels of success, 3 levels of empires. And empire building is in the eye of the beholder. What one person views as a beautiful empire, somebody else may say is a stepping stone. Don't let judgment cloud that reality. You get to do you, boo. How do you want to show up in the world? So the first level is all about hustle. And if I was to give this a monetary value, typically this is in that first 6 figures, the first $150,000 of revenue. In the world of level 1, everything is about new. You are trying things for the first time. You are learning things for the first time. And while this roller coaster seems enormously dynamic, there is a part of you that loves the fun of learning. And when you are learning, sometimes you're feeling those anticipation butterflies and you're like, I'm on a climb and it's awesome and you're excited. And then you realize, oh my God, we're pitching down on the roller coaster and the surprise around the corner might be a hairpin turn and your stomach sinks rapidly. And I can just even feel your energy of your nodding your head going, yep, I might be in level 1. Level 1 is about grit. Anybody can be gritty in the world of business. And without grit and doing what is required, it is very hard to stay in the game. However, I also will tell you that grit on its own can lead to burnout if you cannot feel you can catch your breath. And while you enjoy the fun, the ups and the downs are so volatile that chances are that volatility spills out into your family life, into your friendships, into your focus. And balance is elusive because you're not creating enough cash to find the rewards significant to justify that time. And I think many people who stay at level 1, truthfully, if I was black and white, I'd say you bought yourself a job. And some people think that a 6-figure job is a real high watermark. Well, it is to a certain extent. But as a business owner versus an employee, 6 figures is not equal. When you are an employee who earns a 6-figure take-home salary, you really have a net benefit of about $140,000. Somebody, in the case of Canadians here where I live, somebody's paying for your healthcare. You have extra benefits. You have insurance. You have other things your employer pays for. Maybe they pay for your computer. Maybe they pay for your internet. Maybe they pay for your cell phone. So when you take home that 6 figures, you do have a higher degree of disposable income. That is not the case when you're a business owner earning 6 figures in revenue. Because at 6 figures in revenue, right away you take off tax. Depending on where you live in the world, that can be anywhere from 10 to 50% of that revenue. After that, you still have to pay for the expenses of the business. And yes, you can do this really lean and mean, but you still need a computer, you still need internet, you still need a cell phone plan. Your chances are you're in networking groups. You might have some other expenses. And before you know it, a 6-figure salary, which may be netting you $65,000 of disposable income as a business owner, you're likely under $50,000. And that's why people go, wow, is this hustle worth it? Maybe I should just go get a job. And truthfully, maybe you should. But that's a personal choice. And as I started with, I am not here to judge that. But I do want you to know that's what's expected in the level 1 start. So you are at a crossroads. You can decide it's worth it. and stick it out and keep hustling. You can quit the field and go get a more traditional source of income. Or you can decide I need to move past level 1 so that I am able to say that ROI, time, effort, return on investment, energy, and expenses is worth it. Well, that brings us to level 2. Level 2 is all about leveraging the hustle and adding strategy. This is exactly where clients are when they hire us, because they say, I can't stay hustling. I can't keep grinding. I need some efficiencies and I need a better strategy. And throwing spaghetti against the wall, seeing if this will work, trialing everything under the sun. And truthfully, they're ready to put away the 3 a.m. nightmares of cash flow. So at level 2, when you're focusing on strategy, this is about building an aspiration, which I tell every client, that's my goal for you, is that you have a beautifully boring business where your goal is to stay in momentum that was generated and is still generated by the hustle, i.e., looking after your pipeline, getting really clear who you're looking for, doing the 2 things that predict your revenue, meeting new people you can identify who will be your next buyer, and making more offers. You want to stay in that momentum. You want to continue the hustle, but you also need to look at the strategy of more. How will you have more value creation? That doesn't necessarily mean more clients, but you're moving from 50% capacity to 80% capacity. You might be adding additional services. You might be, yes, flexing to additional supports. That might be staff. That might be contractors. That might be how your business model itself is structured. You have to optimize at the level of strategy. You're optimizing your marketing. You're stop doing what doesn't work for you or doesn't feel good for you, or you simply avoid doing and you just say, I don't play there anymore. But you double down on the things that are working. You speed up the things that are working. And you're in a place where you can respond to more inquiry, more offers, more client, and more revenue. And that's when it gets to be boring. Because you're like, oh, this is predictable. Yes. And the biggest challenge I see from my clients is staying in the boring. Because they're like, well, I'm getting bored with this message. I said, it's working. That was the goal. They're like, but I'm bored. I said, okay. Beware that you don't kill your business in your boredom. That is why, philosophically, I tell my clients, our goal is to build you a beautiful, boring business where you have 80% of your capacity met with current clients and new clients and replacing graduating clients, but it stays stable because it allows you to have 20% extra. That brings you to 100% so that your hustle doesn't lead you to 150% of burnout. At that 20%, you can go create things. You can say yes to an unexpected opportunity. You can go create a new opportunity and you can test market things and still stay within that 100% breathing, excited, and predictable business. And in that level, I said, the biggest reason and the biggest challenge going from hustle to strategy, level 1 to level 2, is that you have to optimize your marketing, your sales, and your operations. And you need to think more about your leadership, more about the business math, because as you go up level, you have up volume, you have up revenue, you have up levels of complexity. You need to hold your standards. You need to be clear on who you are, what you do, how you stand for it, how you go to market, how you win, and what you need along the way. And it's hard to do that if you are still in hustle by yourself, which is why, again, people make smart investments at that stage of that strategy expansion to hire us. We're really good at the strategy piece. We're really good at helping people navigate when to take risk, when to stay boring, how to stay in momentum, to do the things that are hard, but truthfully, there's less new surprising adventures. Isn't it nice? From there, you might be thinking, well, okay, what happens next if I want it? Well, I will tell you that there is a third level. And third level is about infinite scalability. That's that multi-million-dollar dream. And in that level of 3, yes, you still need to do the work. It doesn't ever stop. You also need to have very clear strategies, but you need to build capacity to stomach, to celebrate, and to do well more. So we talk about delegation. This is where leadership becomes one of the most critical things because the owner is no longer so much in the do, delivery. They need to be in the leadership, delegating, keeping the vision, managing culture, being sure that we're clear who we are, what we stand for, how we show up are in the integral frameworks of every decision that the decision is made in the business, and everybody is in alignment with who that vision is, and we show up as it and addresses any inconsistencies. So in delegation, they might be expansion of team that can shift sometimes from contractors to in-house experts. It can be that you have replicating offers. So what you used to do for one-to-one, you now do one-to-many, and you are able to handle higher volume of onboarding, transactions, delivery, and offboarding. It is about boring engines sped up. And that means that you have to have an insane level of commitment to how you want to play the game, because you are the person who sets the boundaries, defines the standard, and shows up as the best example of it every single day in your business. It takes discipline. And that is why I don't know a single business at that level of multi-million-dollar success which does not work with a mentor, does not invest in masterminds, does not invest in being in rooms where other high-level business owners are moving and they can share ideas. It's interesting. As you move from level one, your biggest concern for many is like, I don't want to share my ideas. Think someone will steal it. And I will tell you at level 3, that's never a concern. I host a lot of free events in my business. I have a workshop series that I run twice a year. It's called Turn On Your Client Waterfall. And I will tell you everything I know about business. I'll tell it here on the podcast. I will tell you at my free events. Because the issue isn't that you're going to steal my great idea about how to build a business. If you can, please go do that. I want more businesses to succeed. If you can take something from me and do that, oh my God, what a beautiful reward for me. The challenge is not that you're going to steal the ideas, that you're going to need help with strategy. You're going to need help delegating, and you're going to need help making quick decisions. And that is why, while I stand for a client growth engine, that is the result that we guarantee in how we show up in the foundations we build and teach our clients, I'm never concerned that someone will steal my ideas. I know that the value we bring is in our ability not just to share the how, but help you know what you want, how it applies, who you need to be, why it's important, and keep making fast decisions. And I think while clients for sure celebrate their increasing revenue at level 1, level 2, level 3, the biggest reward for me personally as a person, Christine, is that I get to watch people learn how to make decisions. Build the muscle, because the decisions don't get less as you grow up these 3 levels. In fact, what changes is the risk-reward ratio. And if you're in your business right now where you are questioning that risk-reward ratio, it means you need to slow down, look at your inputs, and get really clear on your outputs. If they are not in the column that says, woo, woo, celebrating how that is all working at a really effective way, you have to change direction. You have to take a course correction. And I think, truthfully, the easiest course correction, if you've been spending any time here listening to me, is to come have a conversation with us. We know how to go from hustle to strategy to delegation. We know how to take businesses from their first 6 figures to a multi-million-dollar enterprise. I led an organization where I had 15 direct reports, 300 staff, and I took them from $33 to $51 million in less than 2 years. We can move quickly when we have a common language, the discipline of decision making, and a real clear direction, because we can move fast, and money loves speed. So my invitation to you today is twofold. Number 1, what do you want? And assess where you're at. And then come find me. If the answer is, I'm not at my destination, I am on the way because perhaps, actually, I am sure we can help you move in that direction more quickly, more profitably, and with way less headwinds than you're doing it right now. So come connect. ChristineCampbellRapin.com is where you'll find us. You have the ability to connect with us on that website, and I look forward to seeing you and helping you skyrocket your business and build that beautifully boring client growth engine. I'll see you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.